This is Sean with Rock Off Photography Music Magazine, and I'm here with Cesar Soto of Ministry. He's the guitarist for Ministry. Appreciate you joining me today.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, man. I'm enjoying a nice and sunny day in Sacramento, California.
Oh, beautiful, man. Well, I just have a few questions for you. The first one was, before you joined Ministry, what were you up to?
Before I joined Ministry, man, I was doing, I was actually about 2000, maybe about 99, 2000, around that time, I used to play in a band called Pissing Razors back in the day. A Texas-based, El Paso, Texas-based metal band. That's where I'm from. That's where I was born and raised. I still live there. And had a couple of bands between the time that I was not with the Razors anymore. I had a couple of bands, local bands. We just did pretty much like regional tours in our area. Like hitting up, through Phoenix, New Mexico, California, and it was just bands that I had. A band called The Sixth, another band called Years of Cold. So that's pretty much that's what I was doing, man.
That's cool. So how did it happen that you became part of Ministry?
Well, trippy story is that back in the day, I'd say around 2000, when I was with the Razors, Sin and I did a tour together. He was in a band called Society One, and of course I was with the Razors. We did a tour together, and we've kind of known each other ever since. And even when we would do shows like these other bands that I was in, like the Sixth and Years of Cold, we'd do shows in LA. Sin would show up when Sin was in town, because Al lived in El Paso, and that's where they would write and record and rehearse. He would he'd come by a place that I was bartending at, and just to hang out, and just to say what's up, and we just stay friends. And when the opportunity came, and they were getting Ministry back together, he asked if I was interested in auditioning, and almost immediately I started recording stuff and sending stuff back to him and Al and stuff, and that's how I got the opportunity to audition for the band.
So were you a fan of Ministry before? I've been a fan since like the 90s, when, every day is Halloween, starting from that time all the way through now,
Oh, definitely. My first introduction to Ministry was actually very, very, very shocking. My oldest brother was in the Navy. And, when he got back from the Navy, I saw that and my oldest brother, he's like one of my biggest influences when it comes to music. And he, introduced me to into just so many bands. But when he came back from the Navy from he actually came back from Japan. He was stationed in Japan. He came back home to visit, and he had his case full of cassette tapes, and I started looking at his cassette collection, and I noticed that things were just like different. There was like there was like different stuff in his cassette collection. So he was introducing me to a whole new genre of music, and Ministry, A Land of Rape and Honey.
Oh yeah,
one of the cassette tapes that was in there. So normally, like I did when I was younger, I would go through his record collection and and now his tape collection, because tapes, that was a new thing.
Right.
So, and I popped it in, and the first thing I told myself was, what the fuck is this?
Right.
What is this? I just, it was, and it took a couple of rounds, and I was like, this is pretty fucking rad. I can cuss, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, this is pretty fucking rad. So my first introduction was rather shocking, and it was like it music that I had never been introduced to, and thanks to my brother again, he introduced me to ministry, and the rest is history.
That album was just mind blowing. It was so ahead of its time. Just my personal opinion, like songs like Deity and Stigmata were just way above or way ahead of their time.
Yeah, that's one of the things I remember thinking when I heard Stigmata. I was like, is that a chainsaw? What?
Right.
I'm like, no, that's actually someone singing into a microphone, and later on figuring out, it's like a distorted mic, and it's so.
Yeah, dude, they were definitely like, I was a DJ back in the day, like spinning at clubs and doing like electronic, like, Depeche Mode and then Nitzareb and starting to get industrial. And they were kind of like my gateway drug into getting into metal, following them from, the days of Land of Rape and Honey to, the harder stuff. And I just love that progression. So like...
Go ahead.
So, like, after being a fan and then being on stage with Al and then playing the music that you listen to live, like, tell me about that, man. I mean, that's got to be mind blowing.
It is, man. It's something that I definitely appreciate. It's something that I never thought I would actually, be doing. And it's, I tell everybody, if you told me I was going to be doing this like 10 years ago, I'd tell you, yeah, you're full of shit, But it's actually pretty awesome being able to share the stage with everyone that's on stage, and just the caliber of musicians that are on stage. It's pretty rewarding, and it's just something that I don't take anything for granted, and that's it's been a special thing for me. So
what are some of your favorite ministry songs to play live?
The classics are always killer to play live. It's just the fire that all the classics still have to this day.
Yeah,
is pretty awesome to see. You know what I mean? Because it's like it is very timeless music. Is what it is. It's timeless. It still stands the test of time.
It does, for sure.
That's pretty killer to see, because that it's not very often that happens,
Well, for me, like seeing you all in Columbus in October, that was the first time I had seen ministry since Lollapalooza in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just blew my mind. I was like in heaven in that photo pit, being that close to you guys. And, I was
that's cool, man.
having a fanboy moment while trying to be professional and get some good pictures. I'm like, holy crap, that's Al Jorgensen in front of me,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's how I feel when I look around and I see him just enjoying the set and stuff like that. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I'm playing guitar for this dude. That's a very, very special thing for me, man, and it's been a big accomplishment in my life.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely appreciate every moment and every chance and every tour I get to be on, and then it's very rewarding.
So how long have you been with ministry on?
So I got the call to audition in the fall of 2014, and I did my first tour in late winter, spring of 2000, or like around early spring of 2015. So
okay.
a little over what, 3 years now.
That's awesome, dude. And so now you guys have some guest musicians on this tour. Who are all the guest musicians right now?
It's Burton, man. Burton Seatbelt from Fear Factory, which is a really, really good friend of ours.
Awesome.
And it's basically like having a family out on the road. That's what it feels like. You're traveling with all your bros, and so been pretty special. So Burton gets up there for a couple of songs and does his thing and delivers for the set.
And who else is performing live with the band?
The show is opening with a band called the God Bombs. They're from the East Coast, and then of course Chelsea Wolf.
Oh, okay, very cool. What about? Can you tell us a little bit about the newest album and the idea behind it, and what your thoughts are?
I think my thoughts on the new album are obviously Al's always written stuff for the times, you know what I mean? It's like, music is a voice, and you have to use that to your advantage, and this new album is the voice for our time and everything that we're going through. There's so many issues that are going on here in the U.S. It pretty much speaks for itself. It's a voice for the times, is what it is.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. I mean, the stage setup that I saw in Columbus with the blow up golden haired anti-Nazi figures were pretty awesome. You guys have those on this tour too?
They're up there.
That's awesome. I love it. We also we just got a press release about ministry joining forces with Headcount to empower the young people with the right to vote. That's pretty awesome too.
And I just learned about that not too long ago, and that's actually really, really cool. You know what I mean? Just to be able to inform a younger audience that you do matter in times where there's a lot of influence and people start to believe that, hey, you don't matter. Well, guess what? Well, you do.
Absolutely.
So to be able to join forces with that and to be able to give kids the opportunity to voice what they believe, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they are definitely our future, Well, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I really appreciate you taking time out to talk to me, man, and I'll definitely tag you when we get this posted up online. And
thank you.
I'll be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Appreciate your time and taking the time to give me a call, and good talking to you. And hopefully, we'll see you here within the next few weeks, right?
Yeah, I'll be at the Cincinnati show April 10th, and I'll be in the photo pit getting some more pictures of y'all.
Killer. All right, man. Well, you take care, and thanks again, and thanks to all the fans out there too. And we'll see you at the closest show.
Awesome, brother. Have a good one.
You too, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye.